Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. Let's talk price a little bit. Let's talk about how XRP price action historically has behaved, along with the fact that we're about to see what I believe anyway will be truly historic price action. I gotta tell you, and look, I want to be clear actually before even saying this. I don't have a financial background. I am not offering financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast on the webernets who likes to make YouTube videos about crypto and XRP and Ripple and all that jazz and make Bitcoin maxi troll sounds. It's a good time. It's a really good time here. But I think that XRP is going to absolutely rock it. I don't make price predictions. I don't know when it's going to happen exactly. But just in looking historically how XRP has behaved, in just taking a look at what a ton, like literally dozens of chart analysts are saying, I can't imagine it not happening at some point during this market cycle. Also, how about MicroStrategy? Have you guys been following what's happened to them? MicroStrategy is the United States-based publicly traded company. CEO Michael Saylor, you may be aware of him at this point. He's crypto famous now. They've spent, I don't even know how much at this point. It might have said in the article, I don't recall, maybe it was like $1 billion or $2 purchasing Bitcoin. Well, their stock price has just been crashing lately. And so I want to talk about that because it's just a little fascinating case study, really. As I record this, XRP is at 47 cents and Bitcoin is at $51,449. So not looking too bad, really, over the last 48 hours or so. You got the market cap for the asset class a bit up compared to yesterday, certainly. $1,582 billion, and Bitcoin dominance about where it's been for most of the last, probably about 30 days, actually. 60.62%. And the Spark IOU that doesn't give enough about anything just keeps trading sideways. It's at 60 cents as I record this. Don't mind seeing that one bit. So where's Bitcoin going here? Because mind you, it's up lately, and we keep seeing from analysts a price level to really watch is $52,000. It can close above that. I hear from many analysts, you could be seeing more upside action. Some say different numbers, and that's why it's tough to kind of figure out for somebody like me or you, just like, okay, if we're not analyst, like if you're not an analyst, it's hard to figure out, okay, like, so what number really matters? Because I've seen some people say more like 55,000, this or that. But we are close to that 52,000 price level. Even if that happens, though, it doesn't necessarily mean that Bitcoin will continue its upward trend. We're at a point where it's kind of a big question mark, but I did see today that Credible Crypto, who has a huge following now, he's got 130,000 followers on Twitter, he was asked about this. He's like, what's going to happen with Bitcoin? And he wrote, he still thinks that Bitcoin's headed to the $38,000 to $40,000 level before this correction is over, and that is going to scare the hell out of your typical retail investor. And when I see it crashing, I'll know that other people are having that emotional response, and they can't help it. Oh my gosh, the money I've invested in is down so much. What do I do? Well, panic sells the answer. No, I'm kidding. But when I see that, I'm going to emotionally feel excited because I do have more United States dollars sitting on the sidelines ready to plow into this thing if given additional opportunity. And I have taken advantage of the last two dips that we've seen, and I purchased a good bit on top of my already, I'd say, respectable crypto positions in general here. So I just want to share with you again, I know I keep saying this, maybe I sound like a broken record, so I'll just be brief on it in this video, but it's so worth knowing. If you are new to the world of crypto, the masses are almost always wrong. That's why almost everybody in the crypto markets loses money. Like, I don't know if saying almost everybody is too strong, but certainly the majority of people are not going to do well. They're going to FOMO in to projects where a candle, you see a green candle, it's already, most of the price appreciation has already happened, and then people are going to pour money in, and then it's going to crash. That's exactly what happens. And, it's... Like, when you purchase a crypto, do you really think that you bought the all-time low? Because people, it's like they have this expectation, even if they don't say that to themselves, even if they didn't think through it like that, it's like the price starts to go down, and it's like, oh my god, I don't know what to do with my hands now. And it's like, and then there's panic seller crypto. That's historically, look, you can buy or sell or hold, doesn't matter to me, I'm not telling you what to do, but historically, I think that's been a very bad move. And so how's XRP behaved? Well, I reported actually twice over the last 2 days. This tweet was a short thread, really. I'm not going to read it again, but it was from Lub Crypto. And he's saying on the low end, this market cycle, he anticipates XRP is going to hit $8.5, but $8.50. I don't know why I said 0.5. It's because he wrote it like that. But realistically, he thinks it's going to go much higher. He said more like $27. And chart analyst Credible Crypto actually read this thread and agreed with Leb Crypto. He says it's still coming despite what's happening with the SEC, because it's not about fundamentals, my friends. And the vast majority of trading that was happening in the world of XRP, despite U.S. exchanges halting the trading of XRP, the vast majority of trading is still there, and humans are going to act like humans. I still think they're going to chase a green candle. And still, even though I think there's probably less trade, I haven't seen the numbers to be honest, but I'm sure there's less trading in the United States. But I also think a lot of people that wanted to trade XRP, they just went to the few exchanges in the United States where they could trade it. So I don't even know that it's down that much necessarily. I'd have to look that. That'd be interesting. I just happen to have not looked that up. And then there's a tweet from a fellow XRP YouTuber, a blockchain backer, who noted here, total altcoin market cap starts the week off by peaking above the 0.702 retrace of the most recent fall. And that's a level that, if you watch his videos, you know that he's very keen on that number. Could be a positive indicator. But even despite that, like, even say we have this pullback, which may happen. I don't know for sure, but let's say it happens here. What about this? Look at this chart from Leb Crypto, because he cited here that this, he thinks, could be a 4-year rounded bottom. And so that's why he thinks by the end of the year, you're going to see some serious action here. So if you're looking at your screen, don't feel like you have to. If you're driving, you keep your hands on the wheel at 10 and 2, motorist, lest you become crashed into an animal like a fish. Ain't nobody got time for that. But if you are looking at your screen, you can see that he cited right here, you're going to see a pump of XRP. This is what he's anticipating, and it has historically behaved like this. And he wrote here in this little box, many XRP holders will think this is it here, the beginning of 589 and go all in. Massive bull trap, but he expects that there's going to be a major pullback and then up. And then he writes here, price discovery after the major pullback, after the bull trap, price discovery. It will pump hard. $20 is not unlikely at end of this bull market. And so for me, all of the stuff in between, like I keep saying, to me, it's just noise. Now, I'm still happy to talk about it because it is interesting to track this. We should be aware of what's happening in the markets. But in the end, functionally, does any of this price action matter? To me, the answer is no, because either this is going to go parabolic or it's not. And all these people that want to FOMO in and panic sell, they're the ones that make it all possible. I'm just not going to behave like them because I think that's not a good idea for myself. So I personally am not going to do that. But either I'm right and this thing goes parabolic again, or it never does for the rest of the history of mankind. I don't believe that. I think we're going to see it this market cycle. I think that we will hit all-time highs and blast through them. To what degree, I don't know, and I don't know when it's going to happen. That's just my everyday Joe Schmo opinion. That's my bet, and I understand that if I'm wrong, I could lose everything. Investing in crypto and XRP is risky. I'm not pretending it's not, but I want the risk. I wouldn't sleep easy if I didn't have this exposure, despite the fact that this is very risky, investing in XRP and crypto. It doesn't bother me. I feel like I've sufficiently informed myself of what happens, and I understand market cycles sufficiently. Even though I'm not a professional at this, I feel really good. I genuinely do. And if I'm wrong, fine, I deserve to lose it all. But I really don't think it's going to go that way. I could not feel more confident on that fact here. So to me, again, it's just a matter of time. And so just think back to this too. For those of you that are new to crypto and perhaps the XRP community, from May of 2017 through halfway through December, XRP traded sideways while Bitcoin blasted up ultimately to almost $20,000. And by the end of it, there are all sorts of people. There's one guy I don't know what his name was, but he was running a YouTube channel, and just literally, it was like 2 or 3 days before XRP began its rocket ship journey, which lasted about two and a half weeks, something like that, from 20-something cents to $4, just literally 2 or 3 days before that. This guy made a video. And he said, look, my XRP is just not doing anything. I regret it. It could have been making me so much money elsewhere, this and that. And so he's like, yeah, I just sold it. And then I sitting there watching, and I'm just like, ooh, that might be a bad idea. And then literally 2 or 3 days later, it just like parabolic took off. And so that's a lesson in like whether or not it makes sense to try and time markets. In my opinion, it does not. To me, it just, the people that win, they're not day traders. They're not ones that get impatient and say, but my XRP is not rocketing in price. No, I want the price rocket ship right now. The people that act like that don't win. The people that hodl, and this is true in the stock market too, this is my personal belief, the people that hodl and don't worry about the price action, they win. They win ultimately. You know, it's just, do you really think that here's the mindset of people. When you are in an instance where XRP is going down at any point in time, and it's gone down endless numbers of time and then back up, and it just focus on the downside. When people are selling, that's them voting that, oh my gosh, I am scared. I don't think this thing is going back up again. That's effectively what people are doing right there. But is that realistic? So that's at that point when you're selling, that's the highest that XRP will ever be ever again in the history of mankind. Does that make logical sense? Moonlambo says, don't make no darn sense. That's what I'm saying. Now take a look at this. This is just an interesting thing to run through here. From Bitcoinist.com. Buying Bitcoin couldn't save MicroStrategy shares from 50% crash. One of the biggest, actually maybe I'll start here. Bitcoin price has had one of its largest corrections since the bull market began and has since struggled to reclaim $50,000. But the scenario is nowhere near as bad for the cryptocurrency as it is for one of its biggest supporters. Although the company's share price had benefited initially from buying Bitcoin, it wasn't enough to fend off profit-taking and an eventual, now 58% correction in MicroStrategy. Here's why this could be happening and what it could also say about the current crypto market trend. Now, this is an interesting piece. It's worth being aware of this. It's fine. I don't think that they're nuts for anything that they said in here, really. I don't feel the way that they do. They cited a couple of reasons for this, and I'll just run through them now. So one of the biggest catalysts kickstarting Bitcoin's most recent bull run was undeniably when MicroStrategy first revealed it had purchased a sum of Bitcoin to add to its corporate treasury reserves. Now, this is crypto media, and it's a bunch of C students that write this, so I corrected the problem. They wrote treasury reserves. That's not a thing. It's treasury reserves, but, the C students, they're doing their best here. Anyway, from then on, others have followed suit, and CEO Michael Saylor has doubled and tripled down on his initial purchase. The price per Bitcoin has risen accordingly, from just above $10,000 to nearly $50,000 currently. Along with the price of Bitcoin, MicroStrategy shares have risen almost as sharply as investors used the company to gain exposure to the cryptocurrency, and also bet big on the re-emerging brand as well. But as Bitcoin started correcting amidst an uneasy macro environment, MicroStrategy stock shares have fallen by 58%. The chart appears to show a parabola that's now broken, suggesting that the correction isn't nearly finished. As for why MicroStrategy is taking such a beating, it could be due to stock market jitters that have left most in the crypto market unscathed. However, it could be a sign of what's to come instead. The orange line superimposed behind the MicroStrategy chart above is the Bitcoin USD price chart from Coinbase. Not every peak and trough has followed perfectly, but the path is close enough to suggest there could be some correlation between the two. If there is a correlation, either Bitcoin is about to correct another 20 to 25%, which, by the way, is what I'm hoping for. I will be rejoicing. And if you're fearful when that happens, by the way, if it happens, come to this channel. I will soothe you. I won't tell you to buy or sell or hold, no financial advice, but I will soothe you emotionally because I'm not going to care. I'll care in the sense okay, I get to purchase, but I'm not going to feel those negative emotions. But anyway, so right, it could go down another 20, 25%, or there's something else afoot. As for what other reasons could exist for the divergence, it could come down to more ways to become exposed to Bitcoin now and existing in traditional markets than there was a year ago. Another alternative is that CEO Michael Saylor's Bitcoin buying spree could be starting to be viewed as irrational, and former believers are now jumping ship. Saylor, who now adorns laser eyes on Twitter, is one of the cryptocurrency's biggest supporters, but doesn't always place bets at the right time, even though the technology itself he bets on is a sure thing. And so, look, here's the chart. I just Googled MicroStrategy stock price. Google pulled it up for me. Here's a 1-year chart. And so you can see, when was it that, I think it was August August or September, I have to go back and look, when they first announced that, MicroStrategy announced that they were purchasing Bitcoin. The price didn't do a ton compared to where it ultimately went, but you can see it was somewhere in the neighborhood of it's called $140. This looks like a freaking crypto chart. Does this not just look like it was overbought? Is it not more simplistic than what they're making it to be? Because consider this. This is an impressive looking chart in terms of upward movement before it started breaking down. But what goes up must come down. Nothing goes up in a straight line forever. And this has nothing to do with the economic output of MicroStrategy, okay? It has nothing to do with fundamentals. In fact, the money that MicroStrategy has put into Bitcoin That's money they didn't need. They just didn't want to keep it in United States dollars because, as they put it, it's like a melting ice cube. Thanks to inflation, the money loses purchasing power, right? And so that's why they're making this bet despite the volatility. They're long-term thinkers, and they put it in Bitcoin instead. But even if their holdings went to zero, MicroStrategy is still a tremendously profitable company, and actually, despite the pandemic, they're thriving. In fact, the pandemic helped them. And I'm not going to get into why. Like Michael Saylor's probably talked about it, the reasons why. For their business, it happened to have been good. Not that he wanted it to happen, but it happened to have been good for his business. And so it'd be outside the scope of this video to kind of get into why. But suffice it to say, they're doing extremely well. And so it's more like where are they putting the money that they don't need for cash flow purposes? Look, they're cash flow positive. The company's just fine. Nothing bad is happening. And so what I'm stating here, and this is true in crypto too, like fundamentals don't sufficiently matter. Not that they have zero impact, they have an impact, but it's more so just human emotional buying and selling behaviors, both in the stock market as well as the cryptocurrency asset class. And the sooner you understand that, the better, I would say. Because just having a recognition of this and then not acting like the rest of the lemmings, to me, like that makes sense for me. That's what I'm doing. When I see FOMOing in or I see panic selling, I just don't participate. I really don't. Because who was right? Think about when the housing market crashed in 2008, 2009 era. The people that sold right at the bottom or towards the bottom as the market just absolutely tanked. I can't remember how far it went down. It was like 30% or 40, whatever it was. It was massive, massive, massive devastation. Absolutely. And so the people that sold at the bottom because they were fearful, did history prove that was the right move, or would have been better to hold and purchase more? And so it just goes to show, whether it's stock markets or it's a crypto asset class, people don't know what the hell it is that they're doing. And so I just choose to not behave like them. And so when it comes to XRP, I don't care what the little noisy Bitcoin maxi trolls say. Bitcoin, no ripper, cottage cheese. That's exactly what they say. That's most of the words that they say throughout any given day. Weird little creatures, man. They just kind of waddle around. I don't know. They smell like sadness and room temperature cottage cheese. Always. If you start to smell sadness and room temperature cottage cheese, 100% chance that there is a Bitcoin maxi troll just around the corner. So just like watch out. But I'm not going to listen to the noise. It's like, to me, the chart, here's the XRP chart, here's the all-time chart, and here's that massive, massive run-up. I just don't believe that's the last time we're going to see an XRP chart that looks like that. I think that the fundamentals today they matter to me. I don't think to the typical person they sufficiently matter. And as a result, whatever noise is going on with the SEC and this and that, I don't think it's going to matter this market cycle. I suspect not. We'll see. But I guess time will tell. I'm going on here. We're going on this journey together. Take my hand. It'll be fun. All right, I'll wrap up there. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.